Hello and welcome to the track guide for week 1 in the Cadillac, coming to you from Charlotte in the 2025 Roval. So instead of starting at the start finish line, I'm going to start from just before the last chicane, because on the good lap I cooked the entry here. This on the lead up I got it just right. So I just want to show you, want to be all the way out on this white line here. This didn't show up as a 1x, so there's plenty of white line there to be used. And just when you get to this point here where the line starts to deviate out, that is where we are looking to turn in from. And the track limits here, as long as you keep 2 wheels on this curb, with these wheels on this curb, that is not a 1x. So what I do here, see both wheels are on this curb. This here is acceptable and gains you a lot of time. So it was a great start to the lap. Because you could come through here, you could carry a lot more throttle and speed. So it's going to be really handy having the telemetry now to be able to show brake traces, etc. So we come up to turn 1. I think we leave it in 3rd the whole way. It doesn't quite get to 4th. There's something just in the wall here that is roughly my reference for braking. Then the 1, or just past 1, is my reference for turn-in. Not very much brake. It's more just a trail to get the nose down and to get the car to turn in. We're still trailing even just past because the car's wanting to push out here. Once I feel it's starting to turn, I can then start to bring back the throttle in gradually. Full throttle, and then roughly around somewhere in here you're looking to, just when the car starts to turn in naturally towards this, wanting to ease off. Not all the way, get in nice and close to this wall. And there is some natural camber here which will help pull the car around the corner. You see, just playing with the throttle to, don't want to be pushing right out here because we want to bring it back to this area here where there is this gap. And that is the reference point for braking, turning in. Again, just a very light brake. Want to be clipping this curb. Washing out. You don't want to go up onto this curb because that is flat and this here has some slight banking. You want to stay down here. Just a tiny burst of throttle to push me along a little bit. So if I was just trailing the whole way, I'd be coming down too early for the corner. And I'm wanting to come down into this little valley in here to get into this curb. Then bringing in that half throttle. As soon as we're opened it up fully, we can then get fully onto the throttle. And you can blow past this line all out here until you get to the grass. There's free real estate. When you've got free real estate, make sure you use it. We get into 4th. Early turn in. I come off and just use a dab of brake to just get the nose settled to try and hit this, just the end of this curb here, and then straight back into the throttle, and again go right over the line all the way out onto that curb. And then just as you get up the rise, just as you start to get up the rise, I'm looking to come out of the throttle, braking, just a small brake, down to 3rd, trying to get this curb. Then once you've sort of exited the corner just a little bit, Starting to bring back in some throttle, not a massive amount. Easing into it, getting closer to full throttle. And basically when you get your car pointing straight over here, that's when I'm starting to brake. So I know the corner's going this way, but we're wanting to come here and brake in a straight line. Down to second, down to first, get the car slowed up, easing off the brake. Just a small amount of trail in. Get that apex, and then very, very gingerly, look at the throttle trace, ease into it. And as the lock comes out of the steering wheel, you can then get it back to full throttle. If this is proving too difficult in first, it's also not a problem to use second gear around the corner. Just back up your brake marker just a little bit because you won't have the same rotation to get around the corner. Or alternatively, change down to first to go around the hairpin, and then hook second before you start accelerating. So then the real technical bit of driving around the oval. So when we're coming up here, not the 5, not the 4, but the red markings in between the two is where I'm looking to brake, just at the start of that. Heavy braking, down to second, trying to be reasonably stable at about that level of brake, just starting to ease off when I'm coming down to second, trailing in. I like to take a fair chunk of this because it opens up the next one. So again, right side tyres on that curb. Then I've got a much nicer approach here. I'm already starting to get into the throttle. Then I can aggressively ramp up on exit. I'm far quicker back to full throttle. So coming up here, I'm using the tyres as my brake marker. I'm down to fourth, getting onto this line as early as possible. Probably didn't brake hard enough here because I was a bit late on turn-in. As you can see, I'm hardly cutting this at all, which is costing me quite a bit on exit. I can't attack this corner as well. And that there is a 22.438. Very hot track this week. So look after the tyres, back up the braking markers. Don't be in a rush because you will probably make some good gains towards the end of the race if your car's still in one piece and still has some tyres on it. So let's go to the cockpit for a lap of full speed. Now, just back this one up a little bit so you can see the start, and we'll do full speed from chase. Right, hopefully that's of assistance to some of you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Stay safe out on track. Good luck for the week, and I'll catch you in the next one.